Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now in this video I'm going to be showing you my exact funnel and the automations that I've built out for that funnel. Now if you've been following this channel for a little while, you'll know that I haven't really made a video on funnel creation at all really, right? Now something very special about this funnel that I've created is I've been implementing something called pixel conditioning, which I'll be touching on just slightly in this video, but I might make a whole different video going into that fully in depth, as it is a little bit of a more advanced setup, right? But I just thought it might be useful for some of you out there to understand what it is I actually do in order to get higher quality leads for my own business, right? So let's get into it. Now, first things first, let's go over the funnel. Now, here we can see Azento Funnel 2.0. I'm going to show you exactly what I have done. So here, as you can see here, these are the different stages of the funnel. So as soon as someone clicks onto my ad, they'll be taken to the marketing strategy page, right? This is the first step, essentially, right? Where I'll have my VSL, breakout videos, more information on exactly what I provide as a service, and then people can fill out the form and book in a call, right? Now, here you can see booking page QL, that just stands for qualified lead, and booking page UQL, unqualified lead, right? Now the key difference here is essentially if you have some knowledge about funnels and how to set up Meta's tracking events, right? Custom events. Essentially what it means is when you're coming off of Facebook forms, right? Facebook forms, it collects all that data automatically, right? But when you're plugging in, let's say, a website or a funnel that's built externally on GoHighLevel or just a regular website builder, whatever the case is, right? You need to implement the pixel events onto your site. So this could be lead, scheduled call. If you're doing e-commerce, this could be add to carts, purchases, etc., etc. E-commerce is slightly harder because there's a lot more events that you have to add. However, if you have something like Shopify, they do have a partnered integration with Shopify. So all you have to do is just kind of connect the two and it plugs and plays basically. However, let's get into exactly the process I've undertaken to make this work. So if we come into here, I'm just going to run through this quite quickly because like I say, it is a little bit more in depth, but I thought I'd just showcase it to you now. So always kind of optimize for mobile first because 80 to 90% of the traffic is coming from mobile, which is a given. But here is my funnel. Now, it's very bare bones, very basic. Still yet to add the VSLs, and these are the breakout videos that I'm going to make. Again, providing more information and more value so that in turn it creates more higher intent, higher quality leads for myself, right? And then here we have the form. So every time someone clicks on one of these buttons, they'll be taken down to this section here, fill out the form. Now, when it comes to pixel conditioning, this is something really quite key. So I've implemented the Meta pixel tracking code, as you can see, Meta pixel code. Now on this page, I'm only tracking page view, as you can see here, right? Track page view. This is because no action has been taken on this page apart from, as you can probably tell, viewing of the page, right? But if we go to, if we go to the qualified booking page, you'll be able to see something very different. Come on to here, as you can see here, again, go to mobile view. Again, this is where they can literally book in a call using the GoHighLevel calendar. Very easy, very simple. Again, some more information, frequently asked questions, so on and so forth. Again, providing value and information, in turn, creating higher quality candidates. Now, again, tracking code. Here, we're going to be tracking every time someone lands on this page, right? They will be classed as a lead, and Facebook will be able to determine that as, oh, okay, they've filled out the form correctly and they've become a lead, right? Now, I'm going to be explaining how I've done the disqualification in just a second, but I thought I'd show you this first. Now, you might be wondering, okay, how do you determine qualified and unqualified, right? On this page, there's nothing on here tracking, right? There's no tracking code, there's no nothing, right? I suppose I could track the page views, but again, if they're not qualified, I don't want to send that data back to Facebook, if that makes sense. Because that's essentially all this is doing. Every time I've inputted the tracking code on here, every time someone lands on this specific URL, it will basically tell that information back to Facebook and say, this is a qualified lead, essentially. Now, you might be wondering, how have I split the path, right? How have I actually done that? So if we go to the survey that I've done for this, basically the form, essentially, I have implemented conditional logic, right? So instead of just having anyone come through here, right? So these are the questions that I've done. Number one challenge, where do they usually get their leads / quotes from? And then obviously the contact information here. Now, the reason why I have done these two questions, then contact, and then this one, is because I still want to capture the information, even if they feel turned off by this question, right? Because this is technically a revenue question, and some people don't like answering that. However, the majority of people will still answer this. I highly doubt many people will not want to, right? But just in case, right? So on this question, if they answer either not yet, but we're close and growing, or no, we're under 30K per month, what it does, if we open the conditional logic here, I have redirected them to the unqualified lead booking page, right? The one where it's not tracking anything, right? But if they do answer, yes, we're above 30K, they go on to the normal booking page where it essentially says, yeah, brilliant, they're qualified, they're over 30K a month, brilliant, they're now classed as qualified, essentially, right? And then that way we're conditioning the pixel to only really look for people who are above 30K. Obviously, this is going to take time, and it's really going to, it's not like a week thing, right? It's going to take a couple months for this to have its full effect, but it's still very beneficial. If any of you out there are thinking about making a funnel and you are maybe wanting to have some sort of qualification criteria, I would highly recommend this, right? Because you're not disqualifying them, you're still getting prospects through the door who might not be at that revenue mark, but you can still downsell them on a lower ticket service or product, right? So essentially you're not leaving money on the table, something that I don't like to do, right? Even if they are, underneath the revenue benchmark, there is still services that I can provide for them, which don't take much of my time, but I can still charge for that service, right? It just essentially gives me another revenue stream, basically. It's something that you guys can do. I'm not saying you have to, you can just disqualify them and get them out of your funnel and out of your process, so you only have to deal with qualified leads. But like I say, I don't like to leave money on the table, so I still allow them to go through the process. I just don't want that information sent back to Facebook, because then Facebook will continue to look for random people, essentially. Now, let's get into the automations. Now, this is really quite simple. Some of you might look at this and be like, how the fuck, right? How has he done this? But honestly, it's not that bad, right? So here we have the trigger survey submitted. Now this is the survey that I literally just showed you, the one with the conditional logic. If someone on here, right, see, survey is Azento form 2.0. If someone comes onto here and their answers in the survey were, yes, we're doing 30K per month, they go down the qualified lead branch. If they have answered not yet or no, then they go down the unqualified lead, right? Nothing really changes. As you can see here, it's pretty much the exact same process, apart from these tags here, right? So unqualified lead and qualified lead. This is simply because then when I go into my opportunities tab and have a look at my pipeline, I can see, okay, I have 20 qualified and 50 unqualified, or vice versa, right? As I was mentioning earlier, it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get more qualified than unqualified, but I'm not too worried about that, because, yeah, again, I'm not leaving money on the table by kicking the unqualified people out of my sales pipeline. I'm still kind of downselling them to a lower package, which I do recommend that everyone out there does. just so you're covering all bases, and your ad spend isn't then going to waste because you've already got these people in it, basically. So that is the new lead automation, right? Fairly simple. I can show you the emails. I can't show you the SMS because it's got my personal phone number on there. As much as I like everyone out there, I don't really want you ringing up my phone, right? But it's very, very straightforward. Basically just a little bit of a welcome, right? Hi there, thanks for signing up, and a little bit more about, you know, what's going to happen in the next 24 hours, so on and so forth, right? And then cheers, Joshua Azento, right? Very straightforward, very simple. Now, SMS, again, is pretty much the exact same as that. Internal notification. This is going to send me all of the answers that they have submitted on the survey. So what was their biggest challenge? How do they get their quotes and leads from now? And obviously, are they in the correct revenue range for my services, basically? It's also going to give me their business name, contact information, and any little bits and bobs like that, right? Which is very useful because then I can just have a look at my phone. It sends me a text, and all I have to do is just read it, look at it, and then hop on GHL and just give them a call, introduce myself, and say, you know, let's get on a call, basically. That is very simple. Obviously, this is like the error branch. I haven't put anything in here because it shouldn't really error. I say that now, but I guarantee it will. But yeah, that's a very simple process right there. Let's go on to the email sequence. Now, the emails that I have made, I was thinking about doing email templates, but I decided against it. Simply because for now, I just simply do not have the time in order to refine them and make them look how I want them to look. So I've just gone with the bog standard kind of email text, essentially, right? So very simple. With the use of ChatGPT, you can make this in maybe an hour, right? It doesn't take long. Just make sure that it doesn't look too AI generated and there's still that little bit of a human touch to it. So by taking out those little dashes that ChatGPT likes to put in, or the speech marks or whatever they're called, right? But yeah, again, it just provides a little bit more information to your prospects, giving them more information before the call or before you even contact them, so on and so forth, just so that they have a little bit more knowledge before they hop on a call with you. Because if you think about it, whenever you yourself have inquired about a service or a product, right, you're not immediately sold unless you already know about this product in depth, right? So you watch a YouTuber on it and you know this is the service that you want to partake in, then you are kind of classified as a very hot lead anyway. But let's say you're running Facebook ads to your ad agency or to your local business, right? And that is mainly cold traffic, right? They have no idea who you are, they have no idea what you offer, they have no idea how much it costs, what it is, what it does, so on and so forth, right? So your job as a marketer, right, is to warm up that lead and warm up that prospect before they make a buying decision. Now, the best way that you can do this, and something that I'm going to be doing as well, is not only with emails, but with content, as in videos, right? So what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days is actually filming short form content and having a folder in my Google Drive. And every time I call up a lead or every time I get in contact with a new inbound lead, what I'm going to do is ask them a set questions, essentially just asking them what are their main questions. Is it about the cost? Is it about the time frame? Is it about, you know, how much they've got to put into it, right? Then what I can do is not only send them out emails, but send them short form content and they can just literally watch 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and they are more informed ahead of our call. This is not only to warm up the prospect, but it's also to answer common objections, making my life easier as a salesperson, right? Something that everyone out there should be taking into consideration, because if you can deliver as much value and as much information ahead of your sales call, the prospect, as soon as they get on there, they're going to think, fucking hell, they've already answered all my questions. I just want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, essentially. And that way you're positioning yourself, rather than a salesperson, you're positioning yourself more as a cashier for your business. And this is well, if you are an agency and you are doing, let's say, Google Meets calls or Zoom calls, right, for your sales calls, this can also help with sharp rate, right? This is something that I'm hoping will exceptionally raise my sharp call, right? This is why I've put in so much effort into the funnel breakout videos, the VSLs, the email chain, right? It's taken a lot of work and it's taken a lot of thought behind myself, right? And I've still got a ton more work to do. That's why I haven't really been active on YouTube. But I thought it'd be a good idea just to show you guys what I've been doing in the background since I've been gone. Now, very easy, right? Essentially all you have to do is create the trigger, as in survey submitted. You can add wait times, because bear in mind, if you're already sending out emails and text messages when a lead signs up, you don't want to bombard them straight away. So I would say you don't have to wait an hour. I'd say wait maybe half hour for the first initial email. I'll just put in an hour. And then what I like to do is just scale it. As you can see here, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, right? I think this one's 4 as well, yeah. So it kind of breaks it up. What I'm going to be doing is testing and looking at the analytics of this email campaign, just seeing what the open rate is. Just based on the open rate, if it drops off significantly after, let's say, the third email, I'm going to know, okay, maybe I need to change the email copy, the email subject line, or I need to reduce the amount of emails that I send out by 3, right? Because by 2, because I've got 5 here. Let's say the click-through rate and the open rate drops significantly after I send out the third email. I know, okay, maximum emails that I can send out before people start to lose interest is email number 3. I can also move around the emails. Maybe email 5 should be where email 2 is, right? And then my open rate will be higher. This is something that I'm going to be testing in the background. Obviously, it's not something that I can do now because I don't have the data to look at. But when I do go live with this, I will let you guys know. Now let's go back, because I've also made a new appointment reminder automation, because I was using the GHL standard. It's all right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a bit shit. It's a bit shit, right? Now, this is quite long. Again, it's literally just a kind of bit of like an email SMS chain. Not difficult at all to set up. Literally took me about maybe 15-20 minutes. But essentially the trigger is appointment status. So you want to come in here, let it load, obviously. It's taking ages today, I don't know why. Essentially, every time, I'm assuming the majority of you out there have made a GHL calendar. If you haven't, please do. Otherwise, this will not be applicable to you, right? So once you've made a calendar and synced it up to your either Google or Calendly or whatever, right? Then you can come in here, event type normal. You can change this, right? If it's recurring or normal, blah blah blah. In calendar consultation call, you can also, if you have multiple calendars and you just want to use this as, as the automation for every single calendar you have. You can group your calendars into one specific group. So let's say you have a consultation call and a onboarding call calendar. You can put them into the same group, and then if you come back into here, it was in here somewhere. I think I might have to delete this one. So if you come in here, in calendar group, right, you can essentially just say, if there's any meetings booked in the calendar group, fire the automation. But because I'm going to be making a separate automation for my onboarding call, I just want to have this one for the consultation call, if that makes sense, right? So save that trigger. Now, again, when someone books in an appointment, I want them to be updated in the pipeline so that I don't have to go in there and manually drag them to the next stage in the pipeline. So essentially, as soon as someone books in a call, it moves them to the consultation call booked, sends me an internal notification, sends an SMS and an email to the prospect, just saying, think your booking has been confirmed. It waits 24 hours before the call to give them another SMS and an email, 6 hours, 1 hour, 10 minutes, meeting time, right? Now, let's have a little look at the email, because what you can do, and I recommend everyone doing here, is you can, if you're doing a Google Meet or a Zoom or Microsoft Teams, right, you can implement the meeting link into your emails and SMSs by having, you go down to the custom values, appointment, and it is the meeting location. As long as you have edited your calendar right, this should populate the field with the Google Meets link. It's very useful if you want to do an internal notification as well, just so that you don't have to go back to the, I don't know, let's say your Google Meets tab on your computer. You can just click on it on your phone or on your laptop, right? Something that you can do, right? But yeah, it's not the most advanced automation, right? It doesn't have to be for this. Like I say, it's more than enough for me, all right? But yeah, I just thought it'd be a good idea to showcase to you what I've been doing for the past week and a half, maybe. Still lots of work to do. I've just got to film my VSLs, film out the breakout videos, film some more content from my social media pages, and then we are ready to rumble. Hope you have enjoyed today's video. Like I say, I'm here for the long run. I do apologise for the lack of uploads, but I hope you have enjoyed today's one. I shall see you in the next.